No, you can go over.
Okay, so I just want to start this off. How many of you have a debit card? Debit, like a checking account debit card? How many of you have a credit card? Good to think about, okay. How many of you actually know, well, okay, yeah, I'm Ryan Conner, and I guess this is the Good Credit Guide, so I'm actually I took a class last semester, and it taught me a ton about credit, and it was really interesting to me because I didn't know a whole lot, and credit's surprisingly important throughout your life, and especially in your young life. So, how many of you guys, who can define credit for me? For a ticket, who can define credit? Just give me a guess. And as simple as you want. Yeah.
They can trust you that you're gonna get the money back.
Exactly. Exactly what it is. It's the ability, okay, credit is simply the ability to purchase something that you don't have the finances for right now with the ability to pay it back in potentially the near future or the long-term future. So, I mean, credit can be something as simple as your buddy asking you for $1 and saying, I'll give you $1, I'll give it back tomorrow. But like, you gotta think like, why does your friend actually trust you with that $1? Like, I'm sure if I walked up to a lot of you and said, can I have $50? How many of you would give me $50? Probably not a whole lot, just because you don't know me and you don't trust me and I haven't built up credibility with you. So, I mean, your bank uses your credit score for that same credibility rating. So, okay, who knows what a credit score is? What do you know about a credit score?
You get a lower score if you're not the higher you are. Or no, the higher you are, the worse. I don't know.
No, yeah, okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, exactly. So, a credit score, again, it's the bank's way of, it's like, instead of analyzing you as a person, they analyze you as a financial risk or a financial benefit. Who knows, does anyone know what the score rating system is? Like how low it goes, how high it goes? Close. It's 350 to 850. So the worst, I mean, surprisingly, you don't actually start out at 350. I just got my credit score. I've been using my credit card for about a year now. I'm about 700 right now. So like they start out giving you pretty generous, but there's a lot of ways to make it go downhill really fast. And so your credit score, again, your bank will say, if you're sitting at, say you're sitting at about 500, you're going to get a very high interest rate on whatever money you're trying to borrow from your bank. Who thinks they have an idea of how you build credit? How do you build credit?
It's like
Paying back loans. What other one?
Just paying back.
Yeah, yeah.
like if you have a credit card and you buy something, pay how much you use at the end of the month.
Exactly. So your credit score can be property, your mortgage payments, huge for your credit score. A missed mortgage payment will damage your credit score, but it's the fastest way to gain credit. Revolving credit cards, carrying a balance on a credit card or paying your credit cards off in full every month is like it's a determining factor in your overall credit score. And actually just pursuing credit, wanting credit, applying for credit cards helps your credit score. But at the same time, I mean, it's almost a guessing game on how to build your credit score. These three companies, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, you actually do have 3 credit scores. I'm sure you've all seen this commercial. However, what they're wrong about here is when you go to apply for a loan, say you 790, 775 in this one, they're going to take the middle score no matter what. They're not even going to look at the other 2. So if you go in, I mean, they act like this is going to kill your credit rating. No, I mean, 1 bad credit score isn't going to hurt you. 2 bad credit scores will hurt you. And so these 3, they're just different companies. That way they have checks and balances, so one company doesn't have a monopoly over who decides what everyone's credit rating is. And again, these are, I mean, the 3 most basic ways to build your credit score. And then if you look at that first handout, it's the one with all the blue lines on it. It's got a bunch of different lines of credit. And there's person A, B, and C, right? So then on the top, you'll see real estate. So they all have the same amount of real estate, right? The count is 2, so that means they have 2 properties, right? That they own, $233,000 in equity in those properties. As you go down revolving credit, look at the count line. That's how many lines of credit they have open, right? So 9 and 15 and 15, that's a pretty high number of credit cards to carry. But then if you look at their balances are all different. So then if you go all the way to the bottom, the count and then the balance, who would you choose to loan to? If you can just look at how much money they have out, how many lines of credit they have out, who do you think is the highest risk and who's the lowest risk? Who would you say? Who's lowest risk? Who would you most likely to loan to? Okay. Yeah, you're right. But like, another thing to keep considered is that just because, I mean, I've tried to kind of put these pictures up here, like, he might have a great job, but again, he's not reliable on his payments, so his credit score is going to suffer. If It's not about how much money you make, it's how smart you are with that money that you do. And then credit cards. So some of the biggest dues are paying your balance off on time and in full. When I went and applied for my first credit card, the lady tried to tell me that it was actually going to benefit my credit score more if I carry a balance. But you got to remember, she's trying to sell me a credit card that I'm going to pay interest on that balance if I don't pay it off. So she's just trying to make a sale on me. Always look for bonuses, whether it's cash back or points or something to reward you for spending money with this company. There's a ton of bonuses out there, and a lot of them are deceptive in like how they operate. Some of them, the points don't really add up to anything, and it actually costs you money to have the card. Limit the amount you carry. That is huge, because if you have 10 credit cards at 10 different stores, and you think, oh, I'm building so much credit because I'm paying them off in full, it's actually not good for your credit score. You really want to limit the amount you carry so it's a manageable number that you know at all times what your balances are. And then your credit limit, my personal credit limit is $1,200 right now. But if I go out the first month I get it, the first day of the month, and buy an $1,100 part for my car, that's actually going to hurt my credit score. It's not about using the limit, it's about using a small percentage, showing them you're responsible in making small reserve payments and controlling your spending. Don't be late on your payments or make minimum payments. Minimum payments, right now, say I spent $300 last month, they only want to collect $25 from you right now. And some people that goes, great, I can spend $300, but I only have to pay $25. But then that remaining $275, you're paying 9-10% interest on it that month. So then you calculate that out, you end up, that $300 is going to cost you close to $4 or $5 by the time you get it all paid off. Applying for lots of cards again, that's another big don't. Don't go out and apply for, and one thing that they've changed is car loans. Car loans, you go to the manufacturer and you say, I want to buy this brand new Ford Focus. And they say, okay, what kind of financing do you want? They'll send your they'll apply for your credit information at 10 or 20 different banks. Well, applying for your credit score actually hurts your rating. So they've actually changed it now so that it doesn't hurt your credit rating, so don't be worried about it.